They're like, oh yeah, a guy with Pensy Steam comes in every once in a while. They're not really much. Really test the LED in the headlight, but we'll take this at 10. Proceed to 15. Hello everyone. This is Pensy Joe here, and today we're at the Model Train Club, Palm Beach Model Railroaders. And today I have 5454 here, and what I'm going to do is check for lubrication and grease for the gears. So I'll be taking this bottom stuff off, loosening that up so I can access under here. And what I'll be doing is just, again, making sure that everything's lubed up and ready to go for this 4-hour-long running session. Now you might be wondering, why am I doing 4 hours long? And the reason is because if you want to get your train certified to run during the fair, you have to have your train set be able to not only meet the requirements, but also be able to run non-stop, especially for sound units and DCC locomotives, 4 hours without any interruptions or issues. So you might be thinking, wow, that doesn't sound that hard. Well, you got to understand, these trains are running at 50% speed, depending on the adequacy of the speed, of course, for the locomotives that are required to go at speed on the club layout. Now, passenger trains typically go around 60 to 70 scale miles per hour. So you got your typical Amtrak's usually running, or the club's personal passenger train running as well. I actually probably didn't even need to take that off, so that's interesting. I didn't need to take that off, but I just took it off anyways, just in case. Next thing I'm going to do is take these screws off, and hopefully that should be it. I shouldn't have to take everything off. Yep. Well, actually, I did have to take this off. Let me just take... well, I can always unscrew this. So, let me just loosen this. Just a little bit, so I can have more play. Now the truck is out of the way. Take this off, take a look inside. It looks like the gear's pretty much lubed up. I do see a helical gear down there. I don't think you can see it because of the lighting. But there is a helical gear down in there, which is pretty cool. This is a pretty well-made model from Broadway. I haven't had any issues running this engine, so I'm not too worried about it. Grease looks pretty good. I don't think I have to add any more grease for the gears. I don't need to add any Label 106 or anything like that. Wheels are not squeaking. They all seem to run really well, nice and lubed. Everything runs freely, moves freely. That's good. That's what you need. You want the least amount of resistance as possible. These tenders got pickups, so of course I'm not gonna spin too freely. Same with the passenger cars, but the motor in here is a 5-pole and it's pretty strong, and the gearbox is pretty strong here too. So I think we're good to go for running this locomotive. Now I gotta move this out of the way again. Put that down in there. Rotate this back around. There we go. Trailing truck's now in position. And now I can screw the main screws back in. So yeah, this is part of the prep work that I'm doing for this engine. Obviously, there is another engine that I will have to prep up as well. I have T1s. Well, I have T1 number 5520. I haven't ran 5520 that much, so I believe she's good to go when she needs to do her 4-hour run. She'll probably be pulling the club's Pennsylvania coaches to test and see how well they run too. I'm going to finish this off with the regular screwdriver. I think that's good. Now we can put the brake pad linkage right here. Get that all in place. That seems good. But yeah, so that's part of what we do to make sure every engine's working well. Around every 5 hours, trains get swapped out, usually motive power actually, not the freight cars. They get swapped out with another power, and they get cleaned up as well for the next rotation for when they're going to be in service during the fairgrounds come to town. So the fair usually lasts about 2 to 3 weeks, so it's a long time, but you're not running the same exact train every single day, so that's not something to worry about when we're dealing with, club stuff. For personal stuff, you can run it once during the fair, and that's it. You don't have to run it again, so don't be too worried, when it comes to that kind of stuff. I'm not going to be running the 20th Century Limited every day. Again, this is my train, and I don't have all the spare parts for this locomotive, especially when it comes to the primary gear right here, so I'll probably have to contact Broadway at some point if I want to run this engine more often, or I can get older ones and just swap out materials and parts. Again, parts is key to running a club session where you want to have a lot of people come in and see yourself. Well, not really see yourself, but really see the trains, actually. It's really all about the trains. So, yeah, we'll meet you back down at the layout, and we'll have this locomotive coupled up with their consist of the 20th century, and then we'll start doing running by sessions for the 4-hour run. I will be giving myself a timer, so I'll be timing myself for 4 hours, and once the timer goes off, that means she has completed 4 hours without issues. Hopefully that is the case. I haven't had any issues running the 20th Century Limited when I was running her just for fun. So yeah, I'm quite curious how this will work out. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next portion where we have the locomotive ready to go. Alright, 5454 is ready to pull out. Pull train number 9, the 20th Century Limited. Or as in the modern day on the Pennsylvania and Atlantic Railroad, it will be called the most famous train in the world. No longer called the 20th Century Limited, since the 20th Century Limited no longer exists. So, it'll stay with the lore. Alright, let's get in reverse. And make her move. We're lined up to go back to the passenger train. Unfortunately, I'm not sure why the firebox flicker is not working right now. It might be because of the programming for this layout, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, I'm just not sure. What matters really is just the locomotive's working. In the headlight, obviously. So I can tell something's happening. But she's running fine right now. We're going to have her back up to her consist. There's the baggage car at the head end of the consist. And I gotta show you guys how slow this can go now. That's why I love TCS, guys. You can just really fully take on the power of what Broadway has for their motors and get more realistic moving. So we'll move up a little bit in speed. Try and get her nice and close. Don't want to bump the coaches too hard. And she didn't really connect right. That's okay. There we go. That's all good. Alright, so we're ready to go. We're going to switch it back to the forward position. Before we do anything, we are going to do a blowdown. There we go. Get all that nastiness out of the cylinders. Yeah, the air pumps running. Alright, let's get going. I forgot to mention, I also modified the tender speakers so that they're not rattling inside there, so I can change the volume higher or lower for whatever I want. Train's far in the back right now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this bridge. You guys get to see how this operates. Gotta make sure the bridge is always aligned, and it looks like we're good to go. Now trains have an easier time on the inner loop going this way, and then on the outer loop going south. Now north is clearly this way in the real world, and south is this way. But if we look over here, north is technically this line. This is the northern line, although trains come south on this on the outer loop, and on the inner loop trains are going north. So I know it's a bit backwards, but that's just how this railroad is set up. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next section where we just have the train running numerous times as the 4 hours go along, and I might run some of the T1s for their breaking in as well, and possibly running them to get their 4 hours clocked in as well, or maybe next time. It depends really. I just want to see how they perform initially. I have 5520 here for track testing again, so we'll see what happens. Anywho, as you can see, the observation car has rounded over at Rickman, the city over there, Rickman Lower. And now she's going to go to Columbia Bay, right around the back over there, where there's still a lot of work going on. We don't know when that's going to be finished. Hopefully before the fair, but probably not. But we'll see. I'll keep you guys up to date on how that's going to happen. And she's rounding the bed, coming by West Palm Beach train station near the museum over there with the roundhouse. So yeah, I hope you guys have fun with this video. Alrighty, everybody. We're halfway there. 2 hours left. And so far, no problems whatsoever. Smooth running. Yep. We'll see how she does in the final 2. Alrighty, everyone. We've made it to the last 10 minutes. In about 10 minutes, the timer's going to go off. And I'm going to stop the train right back over here. I'm going to check the temperature of the tender, see how warm it is. And then after that, we're going to disassemble the train. And then I'm going to lubricate the locomotive's joints and check and see how much wear has happened, if there is any wear, and check the lubrication to see if I need more grease for the gears and lubrication for the joints of the locomotive. Other than that, this engine has had no problems. This consist has no derailments. And I have to say, this is pretty much ready to go for the fair. This train has pretty much proved that if done right, and you make sure that, you get your cars all settled in and ready to go, make sure you loosen up the trucks just a little bit from the factory so that they can tilt and go through corners and be able to flex. You can build a consist that can handle almost any layout. Now, granted, this is a 10-car train, 10 passenger cars, and a locomotive with a tender. This is kind of a long train. Usually we run 7 or 8 cars on a passenger train. But the max for this railroad and for operations and for club service is 10 cars, 10 coaches. Now, what I use for this setup is I use KD shelf couplers. The KD shelf couplers are used so that the coaches do not decouple during the undulations of the layout. So you might say, well, that's kind of cheating, and well, it's not really if you don't really want anything to disconnect. Although on the downside, it is a little bit kind of difficult to uncouple the cars, but it's not too bad once you know how to uncouple them or use an uncoupling tool. So yeah, in terms of modifications for the Dreyfuss Hudson, for those who are new and don't know about the Dreyfuss Hudson that I have here, this is a Paragon 4 Broadway Limited Dreyfuss Hudson. Now you might think, well, those are not the same sounds as the Paragon 4 Dreyfuss Hudson that I've seen in other videos. And for those who've not seen those other videos, I'm just letting you know there's no Paragon 4 system here. There's no smoke unit in here anymore. You might be wondering, why did I get rid of the smoke unit? Well, for reliability issues, Broadway's been having all sorts of problems with their smoke units lately, and for the longest time as well. It's just when they work right, you're lucky, you got it. And when they don't work right, it is a pain in the butt and can cause possible electrical shorting issues. So my philosophy pretty much matches, it's pretty much matched with my club president. But not only that, I agree wholeheartedly, and I adapted as my own as well for my railroad and for my trains. All my Broadway engines are to be eventually all TCS WOW equipped. So this engine does indeed have TCS WOW. It has a 4.6 version. I have the volume not too loud. It's pretty much a little bit under the halfway point. I have a Durango and Silverton 5-chime whistle on here. They do not have a very close sounding whistle compared to anything that could at least resemble New York Central. So we'll toot the horn, you might hear it. And for me, that is the closest whistle that resembles a New York Central 5-chime for the Dreyfuss. Until TCS comes out with the later version of their WOW decoder for steam, and they have proper New York Central whistles, including that shrieking 5-chime that the Dreyfuss had. I will be waiting until then. I can just swap out the decoder. I can just plop it out and plop a new one in. So that's the great thing about that. I don't have to do some ridiculous unplugging. I just have to unplug 2 JST plugs, and then that's it. I can just swap in a new decoder. So that's the upside of dealing with MRA compliant kind of decoders that are standardized so that they can interchange pretty much most of the time. So 9-pin JST plug on one end, and the other end has, I believe, 6 wires. So there's 6 wires on the other side, and that's for the keep alive, and for other functions you can use inputs to the decoder. And that's just a great thing about it. And this decoder has lasted 4 hours. No issues, no nothing. I did turn off the sound for just a little bit. I just wanted to hear if there's any mechanical things going on. I didn't hear anything earlier, but I just wanted to see how it would sound running silent after running for so long. So that's what I did. But yeah, that's what's being accomplished today, and I have to say this train has done it. My work is pretty fruitful. I can't wait to run this train at the fair, hopefully at full consist. And yeah, I have to end this section of the video short, And this is pretty much the end of the video, so I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Get to see this train run as time progresses. I didn't want to do a 4-hour long video of this train running. It would kind of be monotonous, and I don't think anybody wants to watch 4 hours of just one train running around. So, yep, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this update video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Penzie Joe leaving. Bye now.